All right, ladies, welcome to part 2 of the Map It Out workshop. So the first half, we basically just went through a whole bunch of hot seat coaching about people's ideal clients, the messaging around their events and things like that. So I wanted to keep this part really clean. So I wanted to restart. If you were interested in watching that part, you can totally go back and ask me for the link and I'll send that to you. It was very specific to the people who were live with me. So the rest of it, I just wanted to give you, if you're watching the replay and you want to just apply this to your own business, basically what we talked about today is if you have an audience built and you are not sure exactly how to nurture and convert that audience, then this is going to be great for you. So what I usually do is I break my chunks of 90-day plans into 2 pieces. The first one, if you do not have an audience yet, I really highly suggest that you take 90 days, just 3 months, to go run 2 collaborative events with other entrepreneurs in your space so that you can bring in fresh, new, targeted leads so that when you're creating your content or inviting people to your events and things like that, you have the right people watching you. The majority of people that I help are women who feel like they're amazing at what they do, but they just can't figure out how to get in front of the right people. And kickstarting your audience with a couple of collaborative events will help with that 100%. So if you want more information on how to kickstart your audience, let me know. It is one of the main things that I do. I'm a sales coach, but I always focus on lead gen first, because if you don't have leads, there's not a possibility of sales, right? So a little bit about me. My name is Mara Riopel, for those of you who don't know me. I was 6-figure successful in corporate. I was there for over 10 years. I always say that I left the old boys club to do life and business my own way. And I've been in the online space now for over 5 years. So if you are somebody who is a coach or consultant or service-based entrepreneur who is looking to sell out high ticket spots in your one-on-one or group coaching or done for you services, et cetera, VIP days, you name it, then this is going to apply to you. So first of all, if you don't have at least 100 people, targeted people on your email list, ask me about Kickstart Your Audience. I will help you run 2 collaborative events in 90 days and it will kickstart, build the momentum, get the right people watching you, right? Okay, now, once that is established, then how do you nurture and convert that, right? You build your audience, that's attracting them in. Then how do you nurture and convert? So I always talk about attract, nurture, convert. And so a big part is running events and stuff like that to bring in the right people. But then you're also going to create events where somebody's going to raise their hand and say, yes, I'm interested in help with that. Or yes, I'm interested in that topic or that title. And that's how you start to kind of sort through, sift through, not weed out, that's the wrong thing to say, but sift through the current audience that you have to see who are potential ready right now buyers. And everything that I do is always talking about the process of getting to know your ideal clients better, getting to know an offer that you want to put out, maybe tweaking it a little bit as you go, but it's all part of a process. You have to go through the process to get to the end result where you feel super comfortable with your sales. So end result is signing consistent clients. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here talking about. So how do you do that? So I had already mapped this out in our part 1 of the Map It Out workshop. But basically what I said is keep it super simple. Later on, when you're scaling or when you can hire a team, you can get really fancy. But for now, just keep all of your marketing really simple. And what it comes down to is, how do I talk to real people? How do I have people coming and reaching out to me who want my help, who want to talk about this, who want my insights, who see me as the go-to expert, who want to, sign a contract or put their money where their mouth is? That's another thing. If you have a lot of people telling you that you have an offer that they really think is great, make sure that you listen to the ones who are actually voting with their credit cards, not just with their encouragement. I think that happens a lot in the online space. We say, hey, if I was to offer something like this, would that be something you'd be interested in? And a lot of the time we hear from people who aren't our ideal clients, yes, that would be great, blah, blah, blah. And then we get excited and we go create the whole thing and then there's crickets. Nobody buys it because we didn't actually go ask our ideal clients. So when I talk about my event strategy, it's simplified virtual events, not fancy ones, right? Stay focused. Don't get fancy yet. Basically what we're doing is we are hosting things like masterclasses, workshops, and challenges that are going to allow you to get to know your ideal client inside and out, so that your messaging becomes more dialed in. Your events, as you host more of them, become more dialed in. And also, every time somebody comes to one of your events, you are building a relationship with not only them, but with other people in your audience. Because if you've pulled in a targeted lead, chances are what they're struggling with, other people in your audience are struggling with. So even if they're not the one that buys from you, never want to put people in a pushy, aggressive, salesy position, right? You just want to talk to them and find out what are the words they're actually using to describe their problem, or what do they think they're struggling with, even though you know it might be something else. Because when we're marketing online, we need to talk about what people are looking for. What are they looking to have solved? What are they looking for? What do they want? Not what they need necessarily. So that once they're inside of your programs, you can deliver what they actually need. Not in a bait and switch way, but just in a, hey, if you're talking about weight loss, maybe you know that somebody needs to shift their mindset big time in order to make that happen. But somebody's not laying in bed at night thinking, I just need to shift my mindset. They're laying there thinking, I hate feeling uncomfortable in my jeans. Every time I try to put them on, it drives me crazy, right? So it's a little bit different. So if you have your at least 100 people on your list and you are ready and you know that there's people watching you that are legitimately, who you want to work with, then what we're going to do is just lay out very simply 3 months on a timeline here. So this is month 1. This is month 2, and this is 3. Like, this is how simple it can be. I like to stack events close together. You'll often see me do at least 2 in a row. When I say close together, I mean within 2 weeks of each other. So it allows you to kind of pick up on the people who either didn't make it to the first one or only saw the replay, now want to come live, or somebody that comes live repetitively and eventually they are going to want to work with you. And the more you expose those people to your style, your coaching, whatever, the more feedback you're getting, and then the more opportunity you have to basically showcase how you can help them. It's always a win every time you're getting more feedback and information, because it helps you with your marketing, not just your sales, right? So what I would do is I would map out the next 3 months. If you have a goal of, say, 5 to 10 clients in the next 90 days, how are we actually going to go out and get in front of enough of the right people to make that happen? A lot of the time, you're not going to sell 10 clients on something just because you host one masterclass. Because unless you have 1,000 people registering for it, there might not be enough people that actually see it. Most people in our industry will watch the replay, not the live version of an event, most. So don't be discouraged if people don't show up live. Just make sure you have a nice nurture sequence to offer the replay afterwards and to follow up with them personally to see if they've gotten a chance to watch it and also if they had an aha, a takeaway, or any questions. Okay, so month 1. What would you like to host? So if you're starting right now, it is obviously August, but you can start this for middle of August. You can start it for September, whatever you need. Make sure it fits with your schedule and what you are capable of doing. I always talk about capacity. I have 4 kids, and sometimes my life's all over the place, especially when it's like summer holidays right now or back to school is coming up. Like, there's lots of things going on. So I'm scheduling my events strategically so that it's on my calendar. If it's on my calendar, I know what happens. If it's just something that I want to get to, it doesn't happen when the kids are not, they're all home, they're all making messes and it's driving me crazy. But that's not the time for me to pretend and tell myself that I'm going to be able to do any kind of a strategy that requires me being consistent every day. It requires me having something scheduled so I know exactly what I'm marketing towards. I can batch out a bunch of content, market towards it, and then go and host the event. That's what I'm saying for all this stuff. If you are a coach, consultant, or service-based entrepreneur who's selling higher ticket stuff, this is a great way to do it because you get to know your people very quickly. You get to talk to real people along the way. And don't forget that it's key. Every time you host one of these events, you're creating a landing page where somebody comes and registers, name, email, and answers a couple, 2, 3, 4 max, I would say, approximately 3 short questions that you're asking. You're getting constant feedback, and it's perfect because they're putting their own words in. So you're not paraphrasing when you go to create content around it. So then you can create awesome content. You could use that to even help create the layout of whatever your outline is for your event itself. If you feel like, oh man, there's 8 out of 10 people that are coming to this thing that wanted X, Y, and Z. They said it right here. I'm going to make sure to include that, right? And again, don't forget, if some people are struggling with something or something comes up in common with a lot of people that you really want to work with, probably there's other people in your audience that are struggling with that too. So now you can go build content around it. Okay, so how many masterclasses or workshops or challenges would you like to host in the next 30 days, the next 60 days, and the next 90 days? Once again, if you don't have an audience, we have to build that first. Otherwise, you're literally putting in all this time, all this energy, all this hope into these events that you're hosting or challenges and stuff like that, and you're offering. And if there are literally no eyeballs watching you, then you're going to feel like crap when nobody comes and nobody buys. So, okay. I think we talked about this. I can't remember if it was in part 1, but I'm going to say it again. The fortune is always in the follow. So what do I mean by that? I mean, people know how much you care if you get into the DMs and actually talk to them, and not in a pitchy, weird, salesy way, because the majority of the women that I work with love to serve, not sell. So how do we get women to a place where they feel very comfortable saying, hey, how do I work with you? I've had clients literally jump on a free 30-minute call with me, or a very inexpensive VIP offer that I've offered with my Ambitious Mom tickets before, and like $47 for a half-hour call. And by the end, I've had women saying like, okay, how do we keep doing this? Like, how do we keep working? Because I didn't put them in a place where they felt sold to. I just literally show up and serve. And you can always invite people to work with you or learn more. That's such a super important piece. And you have the opportunity, I call it pitchless selling, to invite people to take a next step with you at every single one of your events. Okay, so now you have to do this work. You have to tell me in the next 30 days, what do you want to host? And then you're going to put dates. So if you're like, hey, in month 1, I want to host 1 masterclass. In month 2, I'm going to host a workshop and a challenge. And then in month 3, I'm going to host, whatever you want, another masterclass and then another challenge, whatever it is. I would host at least 1 per month if you're getting serious about this. And also, again, make sure that you have enough leads in your business, enough of an audience, enough of the right people watching you. And I really strongly encourage you to build an email list, because you have control over what goes out to your email list at all times. When I send out an email, I can open it and I see that hundreds of people are opening my email. When I go to my Facebook group, I can see that 5 people saw the post. That's such a huge difference in engagement or in exposure. And if I was going to sit around thinking like, how am I going to fix this problem with the algorithm with Facebook that's constantly changing, I would drive myself bananas. But you always have the ability to email your list. And a lot of people, most people have an open rate, which means how many people actually open the email, of about 25%. Mine's always above 30, sometimes closer to 40, depending. And I know some people in our industry that are so dialed in with their target marketing that they have over 50% open rate. One of my clients has like 57% open rate. And another friend of mine who we collaborate a lot of the time with our online summits and podcast series and stuff like that, Kylie Kelly, I don't know if you've heard of her, but she has like a 58% open rate or something ridiculous, because she's so targeted with the people that she's bringing in. They want to know what she has to say. That's what I want for you too. So please let me know if you need any help with this. I know this is a replay, so it's really easy to just be like, sure, I don't know, but like go through this motion. It is the easiest thing you can do. Take a piece of paper, write out a really quick, like grade 3 timeline. Write what you want to do in month 1, month 2, and month 3 in terms of what events you want to host. And then at the bottom underneath it, write the date, because guess what? Now we have an actual date. So let's say that this one was August 20th, and this one's September 5th, and this one's September 12th. I'm just randomly, obviously, pulling numbers. Hopefully you guys can see that. I know it's pretty bright because this window. Is that better? Yeah, a little. Anyway, these are dates. I see August and September. So all you do now is you know that this masterclass, you pick a title, topic, whatever you're going to teach, and then you start marketing towards it for these, 10 days before. And every time you're going to market for about 10 days before your event. And then if you're stacking events like this, so this one would be September 5th and that one would be the 12th. So it's only a week later. That's okay, because now you have hot, warm leads at the September 5th event who you can also invite and are more likely to register for the next event that's a week later. So you can spread your events out as much as you want. But I always find if you host them within 2 weeks of each other, a lot of people will want to consume more of your content quickly if they really enjoy what you did the first time. And that's how you start finding the ready right now. Yes, I would love to work with you, or how can we talk about working together, or what would it look like to work with you? Like those are like my favorite DMs to get. So please write down what events you want to host in the next 90 days and the dates. And then we can start talking about a plan for how you're going to market towards them. We're going to combine content with your email. If you can repurpose content, if you're already using YouTube, for example, repurpose those videos onto Facebook, repurpose them to Instagram, repurpose them everywhere. If you have your email list built, which I highly suggest you invest in because that is the asset you own, you don't own your social media followings. Make sure you pull people to your email list, number one priority in your business. And then make sure you're nurturing that email list. And side note, don't feel bad if you fall off the wagon or whatever you call it, and don't email your list all the time. And then you're like, oh no, what am I going to do? How am I going to re-email them? It's like, you just email it. You just say, hey, it's Wednesday. Here we are. Like everybody's so busy in the world that nobody actually cares if you fell off the grid for a bit. You're back. Don't worry about it. Don't get in your head about that stuff. Little, small. Okay. If anyone has questions, please get into the DMs. For any of you watching the replay, thank you for coming. For any of you who participated in part 1, thank you so much for showing up live. And I will be popping into most of your DMs just to say hello and to see if you have questions and if you need help coming up with titles, or when you want to host your events, or if you need help kickstarting your audience. Let's definitely talk about that. The sooner you get on that, the better. You can't really host a collaborative event just like in a couple of weeks. Like, you need more lead time than that. That's why I always say host 2 in 90 days. The first one is going to feel like a lot of moving parts, but then you're building your template and you're getting to know your own style and your own personality for how you like to host, whether you want to do pre-recorded or you want to do live. You have to get over the fear of like, how do I find speakers? I'm going to walk you step by step through that. It's so much easier than you think. And then also all the moving parts in terms of technology, it's literally, you keep it as simple as possible. Don't get fancy, get focused. Okay, so hope you're having a great day, ladies, and thank you so much for coming. And hopefully this was helpful. Let me know how I can support you.